Hey everybody, welcome back to another developer demo. So as you can probably read from the title already, this is a demo of the new changes to the Camo block. Now there hasn't been a lot of changes, there's just been some minor tweaks and interaction changes, but one of the big changes is working with third-party mods to improve the functionality of Camo. Now you might be asking, why are we staring at a dirt wall? Well, obviously it's not exactly a dirt wall, or I wouldn't be staring at it because there's no point in doing that in a demo. 4 of the blocks in this wall are Camo blocks. Now try to figure out why I'm passing over them, which of these is the Camo blocks and which of these is not Camo blocks. Hard to tell. The rendering is perfect on them. Waila is telling me what they exactly are, and they probably even have the correct material type and everything else, but we're not going to get into that. I'm just going to cheat and show you what's what. So both on each of those sides is Camo blocks. And Waila is not telling you at all. Now this is a huge change, is one of the big things that people end up using to bypass the functionality of Camo blocks is to just install a mod like Waila. Now we still have to fix NEI as well. That's another thing that has to be done, is NEI has its own functional version of this that Waila actually piggybacks on, or used to. I don't know if they ever fixed that. So not completely done, but is a huge step forward, as we can now no longer be able to detect things. And this is going to be really important, as we have been testing this on a test server, and I'm going to probably play a couple pranks on a few of the fellow developers on there with these Camo blocks here recently, and hopefully I get it recorded, because we've been recording all week, and less than awesome recordings, because of, unfortunately, we've been spending more time ranting at each other and nuking each other than actually doing cool things. But yeah, that's doing pretty good. Now, of course, I got to do a lot more support for Waila here. One of the big things that had also been picked out is that Waila doesn't report what type of machines these are. It'll tell us that these are multi-blocks, even though these are actually correctly identified in the code as being frame pieces. And it, of course, reports as a tier 1 panel, even though, once again, the code will actually tell you what version it is. It's probably a bug in Waila itself, but it's an easy bug to fix, as we just implement the same code we did over there to this stuff. This is more likely, I'll probably implement it in VoltEngine itself, that way everything will pick up on it, which will allow us to fix a lot of different things. Of course, we'll also be able to do things like tell you what frequency things are locked to, what the inaccuracy is just by staring at it with Waila, some pretty much important things. We'll also implement UE support, so that way it's not just displaying RF up there. For those who don't know what UE is, it's universal energy, which is based off the old universal electricity system. Now it's coming back, and of course it'll be displayed as joules. Right now, it pretty much is just going to double that number you're seeing up there, so we'll go from 400,000 RF to 800,000 RF, which is a bit high actually when I think about it, as it should only be double of 100,000 is not too big of an issue to worry about, as we got a lot of balancing tweaks to work on that. Speaking of balancing tweaks, there's been a few different power adjustments to things like launchers. Now I didn't change the launcher itself, but I did change the cruise launcher. Is when we were using it on the test server, we discovered it was storing 10 million RF when it only used 10,000 RF to actually fire, or in this case 40,000 RF, as the conversion ratio is not perfect. We got it set to 2 times on the server. I'm suspecting that, yeah, actually no, that makes sense, because if it's set to 10,000 joules, then it's going to store double the buffer, then it's going to double again. So yeah, 40,000, that's correct. So yeah, this was originally storing somewhere between a couple million power, and we're like, oh, that's not correct, is it eats a lot of power up, and you store in a cruise launcher, and people like to place these and build, break them, and everything else. Speaking on that note, one of the changes going to probably be coming out here pretty soon is you'll be able to wrench pick these up, and actually pick them up with both the power and the missile in them, and quickly deploy and fire them with all the frequencies and everything set in them. And that's roughly about it when it comes to ICBM Classic. Now, there is a few other things with other mods, but I'll get into those in separate videos so I can keep this one short, and I'll see you guys later.